In today's video, a very brief outlook on 2022 in terms of pre-constructions and pre-sales, and we're going to actually preview a couple of projects that are going to be opening up VIP or general public sales in 2022 with regards to pre-construction projects coming out in 2022. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty, as always, back with another video for you guys here today. You can actually find my contact information with regards to my Gmail, my office information, and my Instagram in the description box. Feel free to get in touch with me with regards to my office info if you have any questions with regards to anything discussed in this video or anything discussed in previous videos, or if you have any general inquiries with regards to the Toronto/GTA real estate market. Lastly, as a point of order, I always say this, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Your support in terms of a subscription and a like on this video is greatly appreciated. But as I also always say, you're not obliged to do so whatsoever. Feel free not to do any of that. Anyways, let's get on to the point of today's video, which is me previewing a couple of pre-construction projects that are going to be coming out in 2022. When I say coming out, it doesn't mean they're going to be completed in 2022. It actually means they're going to be opening up sales at a VIP level or a general public level in 2022. And by no means is this a exhaustive list whatsoever. But before we get into that, just a quick outlook on 2022 with regards to constructions and pre-construction. In my frank opinion, more than ever, we're seeing a case where pre-con prices per square foot, whether you're looking at the city of Toronto, downtown, midtown, North York, in certain cases, York region as well, the prices are becoming more and more untenable. And I think a prudent real estate investor is actually 9 times out of 10 better suited looking into the resale market than they are in the pre-con market. Because with the pre-con market, you have the premium of prices. As well, you're pretty much buying blind. You're buying solely based upon the marketing material, the floor plans, and the brochures, which with good builders, the top-notch builders, are very good estimates of what you will get, and most likely very little minuscule deviations from the floor plans and the marketing materials. But that does not apply to most builders. And in 2022, by all measures, due to the worldwide event that we have been experiencing and supply chain issues, construction costs in terms of copper, lumber, or any other construction materials have been going up on the supply side of things. So of course, when it costs more to build a certain commodity, naturally speaking, that's going to be priced into the consumer end of things. So in summation, accounting for construction costs that are increasing and will continue to increase in 2022, I personally think for most investors, of course, there's always exceptions to the rule, but for most investors, pre-con prices will be a little too untenable and resale would probably be a better option. And that's a brief outlook on pre-cons in 2022. Now, for end users, it's a different story. I actually do think that end users stand a better chance of going towards pre-con, especially those who do need the extended deposit structure, have a place to live cheaply or freely with family in the remaining 1 to 3 to 4 years wherein that construction is going to be completed. Now, let's quickly go through some projects that will be releasing sales in 2022. At the time of recording this video, it's November 23rd, 2021, so we're almost at the end of the year. And here are some projects to look out for. Starting out, 252 Church Street, which is a project that's going to be coming out in downtown Toronto, most specifically the intersection of Church and Dundas. Now, if you're familiar with this intersection, it's actually quite close to Ryerson University and also Yonge Center in the Yonge and Dundas intersection. It's going to be a 52-story project with approximately 615 units, and it's going to be developed by CentreCourt Developments. Now, if that name rings a bell for you on this channel, is because I recently did a pre-construction preview for one of the most recent projects, the Good Condominiums. So they did the Good Condominiums, and as you can see from the illustrations, it looks very similar to the project CentreCourt Developments have done outside of the city of Toronto in the York region area, namely Vaughan with their transit series in the city of Vaughan. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the aesthetic of the building, but that's just my personal opinion. It's going to open sales in the first quarter of 2022, and with such close proximity to Ryerson University, this project is actually advertising off-campus shared workspaces. And part of the proximity to Ryerson University is obviously going to incentivize a large portion of the investor base to eventually, at some point in time, rent out to students. So, of course, it's impossible to project, 5 years into the future, but it's a safe assumption to say that the mere sheer proximity to Ryerson University, the tenanted units of investors in these buildings is going to be majority students, more than most other developments that we're going to be talking about on this list. And once again, the building itself, as part of its amenities, is advertising shared co-working spaces, much akin to other shared working spaces and modern libraries. The east side of Dundas is currently up to Regent Park, not a really voluminous area in terms of condominiums. You do have your projects here and there. In this immediate intersection, there are a couple of current, obviously, condominiums. The newest one, for instance, is 60 Shooter Street by Menkes. It was completed about 8 to 12 months ago. And another older example is 77 Mutual Street right now, in terms of what is available in the current vicinity of this upcoming project. Moving on, another pre-construction project that's going to be opening up sales into 2022 is Alias Condominiums, and the VIP sales of this is going to be around the winter springtime of 2022. Here you're looking at 45 stories, around 495 units. And it's going to be at the intersection of Church and Richmond Street East. Now, the builder is actually, in my opinion, one of the more underrated builders is Madison Group. They have a very good project in Yonge and Eglinton. They also built the Nobu Residence at 15 Mercer. And in contrast to the first project we discussed, currently in the vicinity of this project, there's already several condominiums, and these are actually much older, ranging from 17 years to 25 years of age. Some of the more famous, relatively speaking, ones in this immediate vicinity is, for instance, the French Quarter at 120 Lombard Street. This is a very low transacted building, low amount of units, a mid-rise to lower rise, but much older. You're looking at around $1,000 per square foot in this building right now. And then you're looking at Absolute Lofts right now at 77 Lombard and St. James Square at 95 Lombard Street. And now these are once again older buildings. And right now there isn't much new construction, with the exception, of course, of Alias coming out, opening up sales at least in 2022. And another interesting thing of note here is that there's a project that's actually going to be completed in 2023 in this vicinity, known as the Saint at 89 Church Street, which will be, of course, close in proximity as well. And once again, the estimated completion for that project is around winter of 2023, and prices for that project start around $1,014 per square foot, going all the way to $1,400 per square foot. Another project that's quite of interest to me is Axess Condos 2. This is the second phase of the already constructed Axess Condos by Malibu Investments Inc. Now, this is not downtown. This is more towards southern North York, I guess is the best way to put it, in the community of Clanton Park. The major intersection for this project, and the first phase of this project that has already been completed, is Wilson Avenue and Wilson Heights. A better, more major intersection is Wilson and Dufferin. And the main selling point of Axess Condos 2, the second phase, and of course, the first phase of this is transit, is access to transit. Quite close to the Wilson subway station and very close to Allen Road and the 401 as well. In fact, when you look at this entire development site, for instance, you have the South Side Condos at 31 Tippett and 9 Tippett, which is by the same builders. And some of the units in these buildings are quite close to the highway. And in 31 Tippett, which was recently constructed as part of the Southside Condos, you're looking at around $870 to $880 per square foot, at least as of the last 3 to 4 months. And units thus far this year, since at least completion, right? We're not accounting for assignment sales, have stayed on the market for longer periods than normal in this area. Once again, overall, the main benefit of Clanton Park area, especially this development site, with of course close access to big box stores as well, and Yorkdale Mall. But with the sole exclusion and exception of Yorkdale Mall, this is not the most end user friendly area, at least in my professional opinion. People's tastes do obviously differ. And rounding out the list for another project to be on the lookout for is Axess Condos, which is a pre-construction project in Pickering in the region of Durham. This is going to be mid to low rise, around 24 stories, a total of 336 units projected. And here we have a little bit more information in terms of prices, prices starting out as low as 300s. Now, of all the pre-cons discussed on this video, this is potentially, of course, since it's starting in the 300s, the most investor friendly. Although once again, yes, you are, paying a premium and taking the risks associated that I expressed earlier in the video. But the region of Durham overall, especially Pickering and Whitby, are not really strong condominium markets as of now. You have very, very few new condominiums. Most of the new condominiums in these regions are actually condominium townhomes, not apartments. And I'm personally, in terms of the condo market, very, very optimistic about Durham's future within the next 5 years to 10 years. There is a lot of development, both in terms of residential and non-residential, that is coming to the region of Durham. Of course, the resale options in terms of the newer condominiums that exist in the region of Durham, especially Pickering, resell for far less per square foot than a perfectly comparable building, as far as perfectly comparable as you can get in central regions such as, once again, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, and in the city of Toronto. And of course, not perfect apples to apples comparisons, but the point here is, of all the pre-cons discussed in this video, this is probably the most investor friendly. Anyways, those are some quick and general previews of some projects that I'm personally keeping an eye out for that are going to come out in 2022. Let me know if you have any further questions with regards to anything discussed in this video, with regards to anything discussed in previous videos. As always, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate, Realtron Realty Inc. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.